Looking forward to that part 2, girl. I can't wait. Everybody say hello to Cheryl Cooley, who is on my live right now. So I'm about to go ahead and start the show. And I brought my own lights this morning. Can you guys see me? Hi, Gregory Hasbury. Hi, good morning, Cheryl. Good morning. Everybody say hello to the lovely Cheryl Cooley. So you guys should now see my face because I brought my own lighting. I brought in my own lighting. So I'm going to go ahead and start the show right now. Let me make one more quick change real quickly. There we go. Okay, let's get it going. Let's get this thing going. Good morning, everybody. This is JuLā DuCré. Welcome to the JuLā DuCré Show. I'm about to rock your world. This is how we do it at Crescent City Radio, music for your mind. Coming up at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, that is 7:30 a.m. California time, is the sensational, phenomenal, multi-talented Cheryl Cooley, co-founder and original member of the all-female R&B funk group known as Klymaxx. So without any further ado, I want you all to sit back, relax, and ride the music, because I'm going to be right back with more of the JuLā DuCré Show right here, making radio cool again. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys can see me. I brought my own lights. Hi, Autumn Diaz. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I guess I should have said I own the rights to this song because I wrote it, co-arranged it, and produced it. But Facebook gets kind of crazy at times and doesn't like me to play music. I was told that if you put that I don't own the rights to the music, that they won't block you. So I don't know, I'm kind of concerned that if I play the Klymaxx music today, they're going to try to block me like they did the previous time. So we shall see. We shall see. The phone line is working. Shout out to our station manager, Jay Crudy. Peace and love. I'm going to turn this mic around like this. For voting me for the IRAA Marketer Promoter of the Year Award 2018. It's just an honor being nominated and recognized for doing something that you love. And I want to also give a shout out to Elena Kozan and Rico De Leon. I could not do it without you guys. So this is, if I win, I feel like I'm winning already. You know, for me, it's not about actually winning that award. It's about being appreciated and recognized for your hard work and the passion and doing what you love. You know, it's all about doing what you love. And I do what I love every single day. And I feel blessed to be able to do what I love every single day. So this nomination I share with Rico and Elena. Love you guys. My man gave me the low down dirty blues. Woo! Yes, indeed. Yes, he did. Yes, indeed. He gave me that low down dirty, nasty, stinky, funky blues. And I wrote a song about it. Good morning, everybody. This is JuLā DuCré, the host of JuLā DuCré Show. I'm so excited. I'm like, I feel like I'm on cloud 9 because I'm going to be chatting live again with the lovely, sensational, awe-inspiring, multi-talented trailblazer, Cheryl Cooley, co-founder and original member of Klymaxx. And I want you all not to be afraid to ask Cheryl a question. If you are on my Facebook page, JuLā, J-U-L-A, DuCré, D as in dog, U-C-R-E, feel free to ask any question, and either she will answer it or she will not. I want everybody to make sure that the next time you shop at Walmart, that you purchase the best of Cheryl Cooley and Klymaxx. I need you guys to continue supporting Klymaxx because they're still doing their thing. No matter how many times they bring in different musicians, they're all female. They're still consistent. They still sound great. They're still grooving. They're still performing. They're still adding more shows, and they're still loving their fans around the world. And the fans around the world are loving them too. So I need you guys to help me support Klymaxx. There are not too many bands who are still doing what these ladies are doing. I'm going to say the lovely ladies. They're just so talented. I want everybody to write down Klymaxx's website. That is the place to go to check out their information and to see where they're playing. They have some cool videos. They have information where you can download their music and everything. So the website address is KLYMAXX.com. Do it with me right now. I'm there. I am there right now. And it's a beautiful website. They have some gorgeous pictures. Live self-contained all-female band Klymaxx featuring the original guitarist Cheryl Cooley. Klymaxx is an all-female band with the 80s R&B pop musical hits Meeting in the Ladies' Room, The Men All Pause, and I Miss You. Billboard Magazine's #3 song of 1986, as well as into the 90s with the #4 R&B hit Good Love, now being performed under the musical direction of the legendary original guitarist Cheryl L. Cooley with the revealing experience of professional high energy, commanding funky rhythms and sensual melodic movements, a musical journey you will never forget. And the passion for the music continues. Ladies and gentlemen, Klymaxx is climactic. Quote unquote, Cheryl L. Cooley. That is so beautiful. So you can check out their website after the show, www.klymaxx.com. I want to say good morning to some of my friends and family who are watching live now. Roxana Becknell, Autumn Diaz, Gregory Hasbury, LaKenta Williams, the legend Cheryl Cooley, Willis Tracy, Henry DuCré, and so many more. So thank you guys for supporting Klymaxx and keeping their legacy alive. I thank you guys so very much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can squeeze in. I hate to play the song right now because I already know what Facebook is going to try to do. Facebook is going to try to lock me out, which is crazy. Facebook is going to try to lock me out of this live. And but I found a way, ladies and gentlemen. I found a way to get around doing the live. And I always give permission to play an artist's song, always. You know, I never infringe upon anybody's copyright. And I'm going to say right now, if it helps Facebook, that I do not own the rights to any of Klymaxx's music. But I do have permission to use it right now for the purposes of this interview. So I'm going to try, bear with me guys, I'm going to try to get this logged in before she calls in. I did it. I did it. I'm always changing passwords. You have to change passwords nowadays because of all these Russian spies, right? You never really know if anybody is going to be trying to hack your account. You just don't know. So I highly recommend that you change your password as often as possible. Make sure you write it down. And if you change it, make sure that you change it into something that you're going to remember. I must say that I change our passwords so frequently that that at times I forget the passwords even after I've written it down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to play a little bit of Meeting in the Ladies' Room, and then I'm going to come back. So don't go anywhere. I'm going to be right back in a flash. You're listening to Klymaxx live on JuLā DuCré Show. If anybody wants to ask Klymaxx a question, Cheryl Cooley of Klymaxx, feel free.
I'm much unhappy about that. I hate to come down to the level and become a BW, a basic woman, but if they don't stop...
Shout out to all the Klymaxx die-hard fans around the world. Hey, can you guys hear me when I'm on the microphone? Can you hear me clear enough? Because this is going to be such a great interview, conversation, chat. I want to make sure you guys don't miss a thing. You better watch your man. All the girls are watching him. thank you all of those who supported me and voted for me. I was nominated for the IRAA Marketer Promoter of the Year. Just being nominated and recognized, I'm telling you, it just feels great. I appreciate it. So I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. I've been doing this, y'all, for a long time. I've been in the industry, entertainment industry, since 1998. I'm a performing artist. In fact, this year, please pray for me. I really want to get back into singing. I have so much that I want to do. Not enough time to do it all. Even if I can perform once a month, that's my passion. That's, that is who I am. So I want to have a small quartet, nothing big right now because I'm going through some family things with my dad's situation, health crisis. But I'd like to be able to perform somewhere once a month. Oh, thank you. Yes. I don't care if it's gospel, whatever. So this is the lovely Cheryl Cooley calling from California. Good morning. This is JuLā DuCré. Welcome. Well, we're jamming to a meeting in the ladies' room. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the lovely, sensational, awe-inspiring, multi-talented, multifaceted Cheryl. Did I miss anything?
No, you're being so gracious. Thank you.
No, it's straight from my heart, Cheryl Cooley. Cheryl, thank you for waking up early, calling in from Los Angeles, California. It means the world to me because you are waking up literally 2.5, 3 hours early for this. And, it's so cool because I've been working with someone who is, he doesn't want me to say his name, but that's okay. He's retired from Motown, and he's been helping me put together these the Legends interview series. And you kicked off the very first one, Cheryl. You were my first, yeah. So from after you're number one. You're the first one.
All right.
And then starting in March till somewhere around the end of the year, we are going to be kicking it off here at Crescent City Radio. Big G Artist Agency presents Legends interview series, and you are number one. We haven't issued our official press release yet or submitted any promotional materials, but I just want to let you know that you are part of that. You are number one, so thank you so much.
Oh, that's such an honor. Thank you.
Well, you've got tons of fans, die-hard Cheryl Cooley and Klymaxx fans, so I've got to give some shout-outs right now, who are watching JuLā DuCré live on my Facebook page. Lakeisha DeBerry, Nathaniel Richard, LaKenta Williams, Roxana Bagnell. Roxana Bagnell told me on the phone that she loves Klymaxx. Yes, that's one of her favorite groups of all time. Shout out to Roxana Bagnell, Autumn Diaz, Gregory Hasbury, Willis Tracy, Henry Dupree, and so many others. And I'm sorry, guys, if I didn't call out everybody's name, but you know who you are, right? And I'm so thrilled to have you. When you were on the last time, we shared information regarding how you first got started in the industry. And I was quite fascinated that your mother was buying you these toy guitars, right?
Right.
I just thought it was the coolest thing. And that your sister was married to a jazz musician.
Yes,
And
Hubert Laws. Mm-hmm.
Can you give us that name again?
Hubert Laws.
Yes, Hubert Laws, who inspired you to pick up a real guitar and learn how to play.
Right.
That is, You know, that's bad to the bone. That's what they used to say back in the day. My dad used to say bad to the bone. That's bad to the bone. That is so bad to the bone. And that is not something that happens often. I think it must have been something that is, you know, that you were born with, right? Do you think that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I truly believe in some, how do I say, predestiny that can happen in life. I mean, all the parts were laid out for me. I mean, everybody in my family, my mother, my father, and my sister, they all each had their own individual talent. My father, he was an artist. He could draw, he could paint, he could create anything by any medium. My mother was a tailor, seamstress. She could make any type of clothing. My sister, as I said before, she was a dancer. She went to Juilliard, where she met Hubert Laws. And then all of a sudden, here I come playing guitar. So everybody in my family had their own individual talent. So the groundwork was laid right there within my family for some type of talent for me to germinate from. Then to have my mother, you know, feel whatever, you know, vibration. She said, oh, I think I'll give her a guitar, you know, every other Christmas. You know, no indication, you know, from being whatever, 2 or 3 years old, or 4, I think 4 years old was when I got my first toy guitar. There was no, you know, I mean, there's something vibrated in her to say, oh, let me just get this toy guitar. And I had one every other Christmas after that. And then at the time in my life, we moved from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California, where my sister and Hubert happened to be visiting and had his guitar there. And I pulled out my toy guitar, and voila, the whole groundwork was laid. Predestination, I guess you could call, was laid out for me to have the opportunity to play guitar. And from there, I mean, I saw other bands and guitars on TV, and immediately I said, that's what I want to do in life. That's what I want to do. And within my being, that was my determination. I didn't know that I couldn't succeed. I mean, that's the one thing I tried to encourage everybody, or try to inspire everybody to understand. You know, just you can't take no as an answer within your being. Forget what's going on the outside. Because at the time for me, you know, female guitarists on TV was not even conceived of. You know, especially an all-female band was not even accepted or conceived of on TV. So you have to just not take no for an answer by somebody's opinion of whatever your idea is. You know, whether that's to play an instrument, to draw art, to make clothes, to paint rocks, whatever it is. So for me, within my being, I knew that I wanted to be a star. I wanted to be in a band. I wanted to play guitar. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to make records. I just knew. I didn't feel any sort of failure that could possibly happen. I mean, I don't know if it was age or just consciousness, but I had no concept in my mind that it would be a failure, that I would fail, that I wouldn't succeed. And with anybody, I always encourage them, don't pay attention to failure. Pay attention to what your goal is. What is it that you want to accomplish? That is the most important thing of anything that you want to pursue, of any passion you have. Always look at the end result. Always look at what you were trying to accomplish. And that is what was vibrating in my inner being. Oh, am I talking too much? I'm sorry.
No. Hey, this morning, Cheryl, is about you. It's not about me. We're celebrating you. So continue.
So as the groundwork was laid out, you know, getting guitar lessons and playing, you know, in local bands, playing in school bands. I mean, at the time that I came along, playing guitar was not accepted in elementary school, in junior high school, or middle school, they call it now. And I wasn't able actually to play guitar in school or in the school curriculum until I got to high school, where the teacher that was there, Mr. Howard Ford, he just decided, you know what, I'm going to put together a band like Motown had. Motown not only had the horns, you know, and the strings, they also had drums and guitars and bass. I mean, it was an expanded type of orchestra. You know, when you look at a typical classical orchestra, I mean, all you see are woodwinds and brass and percussion, but, you know, to actually see a what they call a trap drum set, or an electric bass or electric guitar, excuse me, that was an expansion of kind of what Motown brought to the 60s, was an expanded type of R&B type of orchestra. So my high school teacher had that idea to have that type of orchestra as a school curriculum. That gave me the opportunity to not only play guitar, but to also learn how to write for the orchestra, write for the marching band. And I was writing arrangements for the football games, halftimes, by the time I got to my senior year, because I was just so absorbed in learning every detail about the music theory, music orchestration. And that's the other thing. I mean, you have a craft, you have to learn everything about it. You have to know the theory of it. You have to know the creative part of it. You know, not just, you know, some artists and musicians and singers, you know, do now is, you know, push buttons or get the program. But how does that song work? What makes that song work? What makes the listener want to hear that song? Is it the key change? Is it the harmony? I mean, there's so much more to a song that is included in learning how to learn theory, learn music, not just pushing buttons. I mean, you know, there's always the chance of pushing the right button and everybody likes that particular beat. But the crux here is that will that song sustain time? Will it sustain, you know, you being able to perform it 20 years from now? I mean, that's one of the things that Klymaxx and some of the other old school artists are able to do. I mean, here we are 20, 30, some artists even 40 years later, and they're still playing the same songs because they have that substance in that song to be able to catch the listener's ear, to be able to turn off the radio and still have that song in your head. That's the same. That is the key to a hit, is when the listener listens to it on the radio, when they turn it off, are they still listening to it in their head at lunchtime, 4 hours later, as soon as they get out their car, as soon as they go into the next room? That's what makes a successful hit, not just the current beat or the current loop or whatever that is for the month, really. And
right.
then, you know, they go into the next room and they're looking for something else to give them some other musical stimulation. That is just so important in any type of craft. I mean, not just music, but, you know, when you're making that piece of art, when somebody looks at it, when they walk away, are they still thinking of it in their mind, or have they gone on to some other, you know, piece of art that maybe is more memorable? You want to make an impact on your audience. You want to make an impact on your viewer. You want to make an impact on the person that's reading the book that you may have written. You know, how does it make them feel? That's the most important thing. How does it make the audience, the reader, the viewer feel when they see and encompass your art? I mean, those are the things that really sustain any type of career, any type of creative career. I mean, when you think about it, you know, they created cell phones. Everybody's got their face in a cell phone because it makes people feel connected. It makes people have entertainment, you know, feel good, fun, laughing. You know, I mean, gives them some sort of emotional connection to that object. And that's the same thing with writing a song. You have to give a person some sort of emotional connection to that song. Not just because, you know, you beat down your baby's mama and threw her down the steps, but, you know, maybe you were singing about, you know, taking a trip to paradise, and, you know, those chord changes make that listener feel like, God, that song makes me really feel good. I want to listen to it again.
Mm-hmm. Well, girl, you have covered, so listen, to any artist or artists, plural, out there, any producer, any engineer, anybody that's involved in making records, producing records, you need to listen to Cheryl Cooley. She knows what she's talking about. She has shared information. She has pretty much shared the formula of how to make hit records with you. Now, what I like to do, I like to back it up just a little bit, because which you said something, and, you know, one thing that I am good at doing is listening. Because when you're always talking and you're never listening, there's so much information that is being missed. So I was listening to you, and you talked about, even from a very young age, you kind of knew that you were going to do and be something really, really great. You wanted to be a star. You know, once you really learned how to play this guitar, and that passion became your passion, and you started studying and, you know, practicing and building that foundation of becoming a great, great guitarist, you knew someday, you felt it. You just knew it, right? You kept it going. But what about, and then, of course, you had this innate talent. You were just, I mean, you come from a very talented family, but sometimes young people who are gifted, I like to use the word gifted, are afraid to acknowledge their gift, afraid to show the excitement for being gifted, afraid to just let it out. Oh, I want to be famous one day, out of fear of being judged, of being maybe cocky, or you think you're better than anybody else. What is your advice to these gifted artists who are afraid to let their gift or gifts kind of blossom, and afraid to let the world know that, you know, how they really feel? You know, I'm not just doing this. I love doing this. Is my passion. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be a star. What are your thoughts on that, Cheryl?
Well, I'm going to make a breaking news announcement. I have fear every time I get up on stage. So the fear is going to be there, and I get what you're asking me, but I'm going to say sometimes fear is not a bad thing. If you have fear that, you know, basically makes you freeze and not move or not participate or pursue, yeah, that's not good. But fear can sometimes make you aware of what it is that you're actually trying to display or portray or try to communicate. So you have to turn that fear into, what is this fear telling me, showing me, or what should I pay attention to? Sure, there's times when, you know, fear will make you not speak or whatever, but you have to almost say, you know, I can't care what somebody else thinks about me, because, you know, I mean, as a motivational speaker once said, what they think of me or what you think of me is none of my business, because you could have some sort of thought that, oh, this person hates my shoes, you know, they're looking at them, and they could be, their mind could be a million miles away and don't even pay attention to your shoes. You can't try to, how do I say, overstep your bound and try to jump into somebody's head to try to figure out what they think of you. Your fear, you think you're not good enough. You're always good enough. I mean, it's an individual talent. One's talent cannot compare to another's talent. If that's your talent to paint rocks, and the person sitting next to you's talent is to paint decorative shoestrings, the two talents cannot cannot compare with each other, because they're two different ideas of creativity. Turn your fear into motivation. I mean, you be your own motivator. You say, oh, I'm afraid to get out there on stage. And just think of yourself as getting out there on stage and just, you know, making everybody just like applause for you because you are so great of a presentator of your talent. And so you really have to almost pretend past that fear that you have passed that fear.
Yes.
But I'll admit, I mean, there are times when I get out on stage and I have fear. I have fear, is the audience going to enjoy the music? Is there going to be some sort of technical difficulty to make my presentation not be good? Is my presentation perfect? You know, is anybody going to, I don't know, say, you know, it was a great show? I mean, there is always that fear of wanting to be perfect, I guess, or wanting to have a good show, or wanting to make the audience really feel what you're presenting. You know, I raise my hand. There are times when I have stage fright. You know, there's some, I can watch myself sometimes on video and see what I was thinking at the time, like, oh my God, I got to get out here on stage and there's 15,000 people looking at me, and all of a sudden I hear that applause and that fear is gone. It's like, okay, they're enjoying it, I'm enjoying it, let's make this happen.
That is amazing. You know, how do you handle like setbacks? We don't ever talk about setbacks, especially when we're successful. But, you know, as a human being, we all have setbacks. It could be different for me as opposed to something that happens with you. But when you, let's talk about when you are performing at a concert. And let's just say there are technical difficulties. I've had technical difficulties here at the radio station. You know that, right? The first time you called in. But how do you, I mean, somebody that has won awards, you guys have been on top of the Billboard charts. How do you handle technical difficulties, Cheryl?
You know, I'm going to explain it like this. You always have to pretend that they're not there. But sometimes they do stifle the music or whatever. But you have to play past it. You have to depend on your technical crew to work it out while you're still up on stage. Sometimes the technical stuff can throw your game off a little bit. But you really have to develop the skill to perform past that, to play past that. And it just takes practice. I mean, there are times when I can remember that back in the day there was a show that we did. I think it was in Orangeburg, New Jersey. I think it was, and we were playing. It wasn't a venue that was specifically for concerts. It was something that they had kind of put together. And every time we got up on the stage, for about 3 to 5 minutes, the power kept going out. And it got to the point where, after the 5th time, it was like, we just can't do it anymore. But the audience understood it wasn't because of us. It was because, whatever the production situation was, they did not account for the fact that we were going to need that much power on stage. Maybe it was they're just a bunch of girls. They're not going to need all that. And then once we got on stage and started hitting with all that music power, it was like, you have to develop as an artist to play past those technical difficulties, musical difficulties. If you know your song or if you practice your song so well that if somebody misses a beat or somebody misses a verse or whatever, the rest of your band or the rest of your group knows how to continue the song. I mean, our last, I'm going to make a confession again. Our last performance, the lead vocalist forgot the second verse in Meeting in the Ladies' Room. But you could have never known that because we followed right along with what she was singing. It was like,
there it is.
We went to the next verse, we're going right along with it. We didn't all of a sudden stop and say, you missed the verse. No, you just keep it rolling, keep it moving. Because the audience, was so into the music, there was no way we were going to stop that energy just because the lead vocalist missed the verse. You miss the verse, you keep going. But the whole thing is your how you're making your audience feel. They may or may not have even noticed that we missed the second verse. But after the show, whatever, we just kind of chuckled about it because the lead vocalist didn't realize she missed the verse.
I've been there, but you know what I'm hearing? You know what I'm hearing from you? I'm hearing, just like, because I'm an actress, I'm hearing what my acting coach used to say. And I'm going to be honest with you now. I used to get angry. I didn't want to hear it. Get out your head, JuLā. You need to learn how to get out your head, JuLā. I'm like, I'm not in my head. What do you mean get out my head? And then all of a sudden, like Oprah Winfrey would say, I had an aha moment. Like 2 years later, I was like, oh my God, I need to get out of my head. I know what he means. Get out of your head and let it flow and keep it moving.
Right.
That is so interesting. Hey, last night sometime yesterday, you shared a very interesting article on your Facebook page, and I'd like to talk with you about that for a quick moment. It was about Gibson guitar sales have declined, and I was shocked. I was shocked because, I'm a fan of Gibson guitars. Right after B.B. King had died, and once they had planned the homecoming service, I had gone down to Indianola for the funeral, and it rained like it was like the craziest day. That morning it rained so hard. We were like, we're gonna turn around. We made it to Greenwood. Hey, we're in Greenwood, right? Then we said we're gonna go to Indianola, and we ended up in Clarksdale, but at Ground Zero. But when we made it to Indianola and at the B.B. King Museum, they had this huge Gibson tour bus, and then we saw B.B. King's Lucille tour bus, and I was like, wow, there were thousands of people out there. But when you said that, the article said that there's a decline. Like, what does that mean? Like, people are like, what's happening? Is it that people are so focused on going the easier way out, pushing buttons rather than learning instruments? What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, sure. learning how to play an instrument the right way. Let's be true about this. It's hard. It's hard work.
I bet it is.
It's possible, but
right?
It's hard work. You've got to be consistent in learning how to play a live instrument. Now, there's a lot of factors too with the whole decline of the guitar sales. First of all, they don't teach music in schools like they used to. Those students that can't afford to play, those students who can't afford to buy an instrument or rent an instrument, they depended on a public school system to offer them an instrument to learn how to play. That has been cut back. A lot of the funding for music and entertainment has been cut, whether it's music, whether it's acting, drama. That has all been cut in our school system, and we are feeling that effect as these newer generations start coming out through that type of school system, not having that opportunity to learn how to play an instrument. When you say people are not playing instruments, those that can't afford it aren't having the opportunity. Not everybody can afford private lessons, and that's a big factor. If you want to say it through racial lines, there's a lot of black kids, Hispanic kids, their parents don't feel that learning how to play a musical instrument is important. Some of the kids that are more privileged, their parents understand that learning how to play a musical instrument can be very significant and beneficial to the learning mind of the young individual. Music can offer so much more psychological and mental stability to learn how to play an instrument. That contributes to the child's brain activity. It really does. It offers so much more understanding of mathematics, of timing, of directions. There's just so much benefits to learning how to play a musical instrument. But sometimes that opportunity is not there. And of course, our wonderful technology has offered avenues for people to do it in a easier way, just pushing buttons. And that's not good. That all of that contributes to why guitars are not being sold. When I walk into a music store, everybody's looking at me like I'm an alien or something. I'm the only female. I'm the only black. I'm the only person in my age bracket. And then they're looking at me like, well, what are you doing here? And then when I start rambling off all the stuff that I want, then it's like, oh, well, I've never seen something like you. I don't know all this. There's kids in there. They're buying instruments for a toy. They're not buying instruments because they want to learn how to play it or they want to make a career out of it. It's just something that is, exciting for the moment.
Like a hula hoop.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, our society right now is so instantaneous. It's like, they're expecting these artists to write a song in 5 minutes and give it to me free.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry to interrupt for a moment, but you just made me realize, like, these shows, there are some shows, reality TV shows where these artists are going, for the big thing. You have to write a song in 5 minutes and arrange it, which I think is kind of stupid because we know it does. As a songwriter myself and you're a songwriter, it doesn't happen that way. Right. But for ratings, they're going to give them like 5 minutes. Go ahead. We want you to write a song and we want the hook and we want it to be arranged in 5 minutes and blah, 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 blah. We all know in the real world, it does not happen that way. But you just mentioned something regarding the socioeconomic impact on minorities, because if you are in an impoverished, I'm just going to break it down, okay? I'm going to break it down. If you're living in the hood, or if you are in a very low impoverished area, urban area, or even in the country, and you've never had anybody in your family to play an instrument, you've never had anybody in your family to teach you the importance of music and musical instruments and things of that nature. And like you said, if you can't afford one, I don't know how much a guitar costs, but if your parents can't afford to pay $1,000 for a guitar or whatever, the cheapest way is to get that little mixing board, maybe that little M audio, whatever they use, and throw in some MIDI and try to, or the little beat maker machine or drum machine, what have you, and try to go that route. But you know what I found out, Cheryl, about these artists who are using the cheapest route to make the beats? Usually it's just a straight line beat. There isn't a change. There's no bridge. They don't understand the dynamics. They don't understand the musical theory. So it's just a straight beat, bump, 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 bump. You don't hear bump, 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 bump. It's just like bump, bump, bump. That's what I hear. And when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, oh man, not again, not again. So what advice would you give to artists, musicians, or producers who are doing it that way? What advice would you give to them about how to make their music better?
Oh,
hard question, I know.
Yeah, I wish I had an absolute answer. I almost have to say we have to fall back on the internet, to kind of search for songs and or even, I don't know, the history of music, to kind of go back to see what created those songs. But as far as training, I don't have an answer for you, because if it's not offered for free in the school systems or in the community systems, community service type avenues, they don't know what to look for.
Right.
They don't know that they're not playing good music, and unless they compare it to older music. And for some young people, they only want to listen to older music because it's older music.
Right.
There is that cycle of not expanding because they don't want to step out of their comfort zone. I think the only thing that we can do at this point is, keep talking about it, keep encouraging. When I say new artists, I'm not saying younger artists. There's some older people that are out there just getting started because the opportunity is there. Age should not make a difference of when you start, any type of musical career. Heck, there's, some 70, 80-year-olds still out there touring and making money.
Wow, that's good, though. That's a good thing.
The opportunity has definitely broke down the age barrier.
Yes.
You really have to be open-minded about what have other people done to be successful in music. What have older people done to be successful in music? What could possibly be done to be successful in music? You almost have to be open and ask yourself those kind of questions. But, if you're living in a situation where you don't know to ask yourself those type of questions, TV offers, some visual and some hearing, sounding type things that, may spark somebody's interest as to going into the music field or, or even the radio sometimes. But, the unfortunate part about TV and radio is that they're so commercialized. They're only going to pay, they're only going to play the music that has been paid for.
Right.
They're into the corporate, give me the money, gimme. So, the internet can offer a wider opportunity to listen to different types of music. There's so much content of different types of music on YouTube. I was really surprised. One day I just kept clicking and there were some songs I had forgot, some songs I had never heard. There was a lot of songs in the 90s that I had missed. So, just clicking around on YouTube, you can discover so much content and music, and but you really have to understand that you're, and you may not have the understanding that you're limited to what you just hear on the radio or what you just now think is fashionable. There's so much more out there, and there's such a huge audience that is waiting for something new. People get tired of hearing the same, like you said, bump, bump, bump. They're tired of that. They want to hear something new, more expansive. The human brain can take in so much information, so much vibration, so much music, so much talent. I mean, we really have the opportunity to be so much bigger talent-wise than we are giving ourselves credit for. And it's out there, but we just have to know it's out there. I mean, have dialogues with people. Talk about, you know, if you don't like the latest #1 hit, tell somebody, I don't really like that song. I don't know why they keep playing it. Then go ahead and move on and find something that's not commercialized. Get on these internet radio stations. They're always playing new music. Get on these blog radio stations. They're always playing new music, new artists. Independent radio stations are offering so much more musical content than commercial radio. It's inspiring. It's awesome.
That is so true because Real Talk Big G Radio, we play the world's music. We don't want to be trapped in one type of genre. And you are absolutely right. And I was listening to you about the internet. I think that pretty much what you were saying is that even if you cannot play an instrument or you can play it somewhat and you want to play it better, you can study music theory by going to YouTube, which is free. Artists love FREE. There's nothing sexier than getting free music lessons. Isn't that right, Cheryl?
Right,
you don't have to pay for it. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse not to learn. You can go to YouTube. Now, I want to shift just for a moment about presentation. And I can clearly see that Klymaxx is all into presentation. All these beautiful pictures, all in the internet, I'm going to say universe, the internet universe. I can see that you love pink. I love pink too. And I'm kind of wearing like a kind of pinkish kind of sweater right now. You can't really tell. But how important is presentation?
Oh, gosh. In a recent show that we did last weekend, someone just walked up to me and said, I'm so glad to see that somebody is getting on stage with more than just their weekend play clothes. One thing for me about presentation and getting on stage, you're playing dress up. You're playing, I'm a dress up to play this part up on stage. So you're going through the whole process. I want to dress up and be flashy. I want to get up on stage and be flashy, which makes the audience that much more excited when you're up on stage, looking good and crisp and flashy. That all adds to the presentation. That all adds to the music. Now, yeah, you do have as an artist, you do have the power to get up there and, wake up in the morning, put on your old tired up jeans and beat up T-shirt and get up there and make the crowd, all excited and everything, and there's somewhat of a bit of power of that, like, I ain't got to do all that. I can make them still get up there on stage and, make them scream or whatever. But little do you know that when you get off stage, those same people are going and talking to each other like, God, you see what that guy wore? Why would he wear something like that? I could hardly look at him. I like to listen to the music, but I hate looking at him. As a matter of fact, the show that we just did, there was an artist, a very famous artist's name. I'm not going to say who it is. And they talked about the guy looking like, God, he looked trashy up on stage, and he sounded bad. And I didn't want to listen to all that. So that means that they, may not get requested for the next show. A promoter might ask, some, person off the street, if there was a concert at the so-and-so venue down the street, who would you want to see? Well, I don't want to see so-and-so, because the last concert I saw him at, he was wearing some tired jeans up on stage. I don't want to see that. I'm paying my money to see a good show. I want to visually be inspired. Visually be inspired and audibly be inspired. I don't want to see somebody get up on stage with their garden clothes on. Presentation is so important. Even though you may not know it, your audience will know it.
Well, you can be talented, but you cannot be, look, you can be talented, you can sing your heart out, but you cannot be talented and raggedy at the same time, because people who are spending their money, you heard I said raggedy, people who are spending their money, they want a show. They want a show, they want a show, they want a show. At the end of the day, it's about giving people what they want, right?
Yep, right.
That makes sense, because I went to maybe, 10 years ago, I remember going to a seminar here in New Orleans, and they were talking about artists need to learn early on out of the gate how to build their brand, and the clothes that you wear should represent who you are, and you should not try to dress up as somebody that you're not, right? Let's talk about Prince. Prince, everything that we saw was Prince, because Prince was sort of like a chameleon, in my opinion. He was constantly transforming, reinventing himself and things of that nature. I'm assuming to remain relative, which, he's a memorable artist whose legend is going to live on forever, even after I'm gone, after you're gone, and the next generations to come. I personally feel is gonna live on, and that's how legends are made, because they're constantly reinventing themselves. I remember the first time I saw Prince live in concert. Remember when Prince used to kind of like stick his tongue out and kind of like lick, like he's trying to lick his own body, lick himself, and bumping and grinding, and International Lover. My God, my God, my God. But that was presentation. That was who he was at that time. But when he started evolving and started maturing psychologically, he started changing over a time period. Now, I'm saying all this because I wanted to get back to Klymaxx. That is something that I've noticed about Klymaxx, that considering it's been about 25 years, you guys have evolved. The brand has evolved, but there's something so pure, so special, so consistent, so strong. And a fan named Melissa from the Bronx wants to know, Cheryl, I'm a musician, been performing drums and keyboards for 15 years. How in the world that you keep the sound, the Klymaxx sound, so consistent and so strong, using all these different musicians after the original band broke up? I mean, how do you do it?
Well, I have a standard Thursday night rehearsal, whether we have a gig or we don't have a gig. There is always a rehearsal every week, no matter what is before us. That makes us prepared for when the phone rings a week before the show. We're not trying to get ready. Right. We're already ready.
Okay, preparation. I heard preparation. All right.
Right. Okay. So to practice, no matter what the outward appearance is key for us in being consistent in our sound. There was a time period when I had actually stopped playing music and I became an electrician. And I, from those skills, again, all of that was still part of my musical journey, because I learned the skills to be able to build my own rehearsal room on my house.
Oh, wow.
So I have a 24-hour available rehearsal room.
Oh, wow. That is incredible.
Which also has a bar that we have in there. All
right now. Hey, I'd like to get my invite, a bar. You're talking. Make sure you have some Coors Light.
Right. And a couch if you happen to pass out. But consistency. Even if we have rehearsal and we don't have a show, sometimes we just get together at the rehearsal and hee and ha and make, just make light of the situation, have fun, have snacks, tell, what may have happened to us at the last gig that nobody else knew had happened. My point is, you have to make it fun for yourself. Get with your instrument, and however you practice. If you practice with a click track, or if you practice with a track that you can sing to, just give yourself at least an hour a week, if or more. I mean, the more hours, the better. And just isolate yourself and practice your art. Stay ready. Stay ready. Stay ready. Don't get ready. Stay ready. Learn other people's music. Don't just stay in a niche with your own music. Learn other people's music. Like, get some of these old school songs and learn what that person did in that song. What type of beat did he play? What type of drum, cymbal, chimes did he play? What type of harmony did the person use? So, listening to older music can also teach you what to actually put in your own presentation, in your own talent, in your own show. Consistency, make it fun, make it fun, make it fun. That is so important. Make it entertaining, make it fun for yourself, because you'll want to do it over and over and over again. But, the key to it is just stay ready. Give yourself a schedule. So stay ready.
Y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. Okay, we have a question from Josh. He's listening in Newark, New Jersey. He wants to know, how difficult is it to work with a bunch of females?
Well, it's funny that question is brought up quite often. It's unfortunate that the original girls couldn't get along long enough for it to continue the way it should have. There was a lot of egos or self-centeredness that caused the breakup of the band initially back in the 90s, and that was really unfortunate. And again, those same personalities and those same egos caused it not to have all the original members now also. But the ladies that I have in my group now, we get along, we have fun, we make fun of each other. It's just the chemistry of us has been almost magical, that we get along so well and have so much respect for each other. I think that is the bottom line, that women have to have respect for each other. We are conditioned and trained to always be in conflict with each other. And we have to really see that for what it is, because the conflict, or the teaching us to be at each other, against each other, is, divide and conquer. If we can keep you from not getting along and getting together, we can keep you controlled. So one thing that, a female organization could probably use is, first of all, a common goal. What is your common goal? And focus on that, as opposed to just focusing on each other and what one does or doesn't have.
That is the best advice that you could give anybody. The best. We have another question from Maria in Dallas, Texas. She wants to know if Klymaxx is signed with a record company right now.
Not at this time. We have been in the past, but at this time we are in the market for a new record label to sign us.
Awesome, awesome. And I'm going to take one more question from Michael from New Orleans. All right. He's like, Dear Cheryl, has Klymaxx ever performed in New Orleans?
Oh my God, yes.
And would you, wait, that's part one. And if so, would you be interested in returning?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm waiting for the invitation.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to do my part to try to make that happen. Most definitely.
Thank you. Awesome.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans right now? Because like I was every Saturday morning en route to the office, I like to go live to kind of let people know, what's going to be coming up on my show. And I mentioned that you're so positive and it's so real, so natural, so awe-inspiring. What advice could you give to somebody who has been struggling as an independent musician? They're so good. They play instruments. They practice. They understand music theory. They're doing everything right. but they seem like they're stuck in place. What advice or any advice you could give them about not giving up?
Sure. Well, this is going to sound a little strange to some people, but the one thing that I recommend first and foremost is read something inspiring to you every day. And I don't know if you've ever noticed on my Facebook page, I try to post something that is, an affirmation or an encouragement statement. One of the things that is so important in anybody's career is to be positive about it. Get an affirmation book. If you don't like to read, get it off of the internet. Dial up, affirmations for, musical inspiration or emotional inspiration. Or, you can find so much information on the internet as far as just, once a day, or in the morning preferably, or I should not say once a day, but every day, morning, noon, and night. Get an affirmation for yourself. Write up your own if you want.
Can you share one of your favorite affirmations with your fans? One of your favorite ones?
Oh gosh. Let's see. What you think about, you bring about. So if you think that you can be happy, or if you think that you can be successful, and you feel that, you've got to feel that in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, then you can find that things that try to attack your happiness won't affect you. So what you think about, you bring about. If you think that you're going to be happy and you encompass that vibration within you, then you will tend to be happier than if you think, I'm going to have a bad day. Think for yourself. Imagine for yourself that you're going to have a good day. Yeah, somebody might try to, throw something at you that's not nice, but if within yourself you're strong and you know that I am happy in my life, even though Sarah Sue is throwing a pie at me, I'm going to laugh it off and continue on my day positively.
That is so profound. That is so strong. That's the best advice that anybody could receive. And let me tell you, I'm receiving it because I have some moments, but I don't put it out there. But, I always try to remain positive as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about today's music industry and the future of it?
Well, I don't really know what the future is going to hold, but I encourage everybody to make vocal what they enjoy hearing. That's the most important. If people know, or those that are writing music, those that are making music, those that are selling music know what makes the listener, the buyer, happy, then they'll gravitate to that.
I like that. You're not a hater. I like that. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna
take so much energy. I don't have that much energy. Hating just takes so much energy. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna take another question. I'm gonna take Susie from Houston, Texas. Wants to know. What's that question? She wants to know, dear Cheryl, do you have any advice for anybody that's kind of like thinking about making music their professional career? Should they give up their day job, in other words, to do music?
Well, my first statement is take care of yourself first. Because if your foundation or your lifestyle or your living situation is not stable, it will affect your music. It will affect your presentation. So that's always important. If that means you got to keep your day job, then do that. If that means you got to work part-time, to make sure that you have some food in your stomach, do that. But there are those times where, if you're on and off the road a lot, having a job is kind of, difficult. Work temp if that works for you. Sometimes working temp. I worked temp for a lot of years because I was on and off the road so much. But you got to take care of your foundation first, because really, if your home, your life is not stable, not feeling good, it can affect your music. It really can. Some people write from pain, but also it can affect the possibilities of how far your music can go.
Wow, more great advice. Okay, I'm going to take my final question. I know I said I was going to take, but I have to. We got Bill from New Orleans. Bill wants to know, let's get back to Bill's question right here. Bill wants to know if you're in radio broadcasting. He's like, hi, wow, she has an incredible radio voice. Have you been in broadcasting? If not, would you consider being, like a radio show host and giving positive advice to people? Have you ever done public? He's asking, Bill, I love you. He's asking 10 questions in one. Have you been in broadcasting? If not, would you consider being a broadcaster? And have you ever done any motivational speaking? Bill, only for you. Love you, Bill.
I should have wrote them all down so I could say yes, no, yes, no. No, I've never been in broadcasting. I never really even thought about it. The motivational part of it, motivational speaking part of it, is something I'm very, very interested in. Would I want to be on a show? I mean, I'm open to it.
Hey, I got something for you, okay? I have something for you. You can come on Real Talk Big G Radio. I'll give you your own platform.
Wow.
Absolutely. Seriously, I will give it to you. Yes, so is there anything else that you like to add to such a wonderful morning? You have brought, I was en route to the office, and it was kind of foggy, and some people allow the weather to affect their moods, and I sense that it could be raining, it could be snowing, the sun could be shining, whatever, that Cheryl Cooley is gonna be steady. Am I right?
Right.
That's the way I am. So is there anything else that you'd like to add to your fans who are listening and watching JuLā DuCré Show right now?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I mean, first of all, I want to thank all the fans and the listeners and the music buyers for continuing to make Klymaxx current and make me current. I send out electronic hugs. I so appreciate them supporting me. I invite them again to come to our website at KLYMAXX.com and check out our calendar and pictures. And I appreciate you, JuLā, for having me on the show again. You are actually inspiring to me, whether you know it or not. But
thank you.
I invite your listeners to go to our Facebook page, Klymaxx Music. We have Twitter.com, Klymaxx, of course, Instagram.com, Klymaxx Music. But all of that is on our website. And, I thank everybody for listening to this show today of me doing all this talking and babbling.
Honey, look, if I didn't have to get off the air in 4 more minutes, you could babble as long, because let me tell you, the information that you have provided a wealth of knowledge. Real talk. A wealth of knowledge. And I just want to thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and close out my show. Now, Cheryl, before you go, you got to hear this from me.
Okay.
I love them all. I love all the Klymaxx. I don't have a favorite Klymaxx song, because I love you guys so much. I mean, I love meeting in the ladies' room. I love to sing in the shower. I was singing, gotta meet in the ladies' room, be back real. I was visualizing myself on stage singing. Then I miss you. I'm like, I miss you. And then, that new jam. Hey, everybody, listen up. You've got to download Love Me by Klymaxx. Cheryl, don't go nowhere. I just want them to hear a snippet, just a snippet of it.
Okay.
Before you go. Just a snippet. Everybody, you got to get it. Today, not tomorrow, today.
If you allow me. Give me all I need it for.
Okay, I gave everybody a snippet of their new jam joint. Now, I want to know who wrote that. That is fire. That is a club banger. That is a banger.
I put the link on your Facebook page here where they can find it. Yeah, the song is called Love Me, and it's our current hit that's out. Yeah.
It's just so funky. And, you know, I'm like, man, I'm thinking, you know how the, what's Alicia Keys' husband's name? I can't even think of his name, but he's like a master of remixing stuff. I'm like, ooh, wee. Love, Love Me. That's a hit. I'm telling you, that is a hit. And I will be playing it. I'm going to be playing that. And I just want to thank you. Now, I have to remind everybody. Royce, New Orleans is in the house. Royce wants to hear a little bit of I Miss You. So I'm going to go ahead and close out my show. Thank you, Cheryl. And I'm going to be contacting you if you are serious regarding having your own show on Real Talk Big G Radio. All right, girl. We're going to talk. And hey, what are your plans for this weekend? Are you working, or are you just going to chill for a moment?
No, I'm chilling this weekend. Last weekend was a busy weekend, so this weekend I get to spend time with myself. How's that?
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much. Have a blessed weekend. Love you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
She's amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and close out my show. I'm going to be back next Saturday. Same place, same time, 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the JuLā DuCré Show. Thank you all for supporting Cheryl Cooley and the legendary band Klymaxx. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm out. All I can say, wow. Thank you, Cheryl Cooley. Thank you so much. And everybody, please download Love Me by Klymaxx. I love it. It's so much fun. I'm going to let you guys listen to the music. For tuning in, for watching, for asking questions. Have a great weekend. Love you guys. Be safe out there. I have to mix my show down. I've got to save the broadcast. We'll talk soon. Bye.